They cooked the meals, raised the children, nursed the wounded, and shaped empires, yet history barely whispered their names. Behind every revolution, every royal decree, and every battle for power stood women whose stories were never told. This is not the history you read in books. This is the forgotten stories of women in the 1700s. The 1700s, an age of enlightenment, exploration, and empire. But while men's names filled the pages of history, Newton, Voltaire, Jefferson, Napoleon, women's lives were confined to the margins. Across continents, their roles were shaped by class, culture, and circumstance. From the palaces of Versailles to the rice fields of Asia, from enslaved women in the Americas to the rebels of Europe, this was a century that tested their strength and revealed their quiet rebellion. In Europe, power wore a crown, but it was not always a man's head that bore it. Queens like Catherine the Great of Russia and Maria Theresa of Austria defied expectations, commanding armies and shaping nations. Yet they ruled in a world that questioned a woman's right to lead. Even their power came at a price: scandal, gossip, and constant threats of betrayal. At the same time, courtesans like Madame de Pompadour in France wielded influence from the shadows, using wit and intellect to shape politics in a world where women had no vote. In their salons, the seeds of revolution were quietly planted over candlelight and whispered secrets. For most women, life was not about luxury, it was survival. In the fields of England, France, and Spain, peasant women worked from dawn to dusk, tending crops, baking bread, spinning wool, and raising children under harsh conditions. Marriage was rarely about love, it was economics. A woman's worth was often measured by her dowry, her fertility, and her obedience. In urban centers, the Industrial Revolution was still emerging, and women became laborers in early factories, seamstresses, and domestic servants. Their hands built the wealth that others claimed. In Asia, women's experiences varied greatly. In China, Confucian ideals demanded silence and obedience, while foot binding symbolized beauty through pain. In Japan, samurai women were trained in the art of self-defense, expected to protect their homes with as much honor as any man. In Africa, women carried powerful social and spiritual roles. In kingdoms like Dahomey, the legendary Agoji, an all-female military regiment, defended their realm with unmatched courage. Meanwhile, enslaved African women transported to the Americas endured unimaginable suffering, yet preserved language, music, and faith that would influence generations to come. By the late 1700s, the world was changing. Revolutions were erupting in America and France. Women began to demand a voice. Figures like Olympe de Gouges, who wrote the Declaration of the Rights of Woman and the Female Citizen, risked execution to question inequality. Across the ocean, Abigail Adams urged her husband to remember the ladies as America sought freedom from Britain. But freedom once again was selective. Women were told to wait. Behind closed doors, women's diaries and letters tell another story of love, heartbreak, and endurance. Mothers lost children to war and disease. Wives watched their husbands sail across oceans and never return. Artists, writers, and thinkers fought to express themselves in secret, their words hidden in trunks, their paintings unsigned, and yet their quiet acts of resilience became the foundation for future generations. The women of the 1700s may not have written the laws or led the wars, but they shaped the world all the same. Their hands built empires, their words fueled revolutions, and their endurance gave rise to the modern age. History forgot their names, but their stories still whisper through time. They were queens, they were servants, they were survivors, and now their voices are finally being heard.